Hey, what's up, guys? So I did win the first trial, and this is the second trial. A match against Commander Stubbs, and I've seen his name before. I'm just not quite sure if it was in the matchmaking or not. But let's take a look at him. There's Commander Stubbs, and then of course these are guys in the second bracket. I think I have going against Agent Zero, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for him. So Commander Stubbs is 75 mil, basically 3.5 mil STP, so he's a strong guy. We're going to see how this looks going in because I'm expecting him to have a really strong offense. You can tell by his arena team he's pretty strong. And this is where I'm at, 85 mil and 3.3 mil STP. So let's take a look at my defense. This is what I decided to go with. I made some minor changes so you can see what room 1 looks like compared to room 3 now. I'm still running Bifrost. I want to see guys successfully go in with some of the newly discovered counters, which is commonly floating around that Black Order can punch up huge on them. So we'll see. I did take up my Black Order. Well, I took up Cole, and of course you can see Thanos went up. I took Cole to 17, Thanos to 100. And that's mostly because it looks like they just still have life. So it's like, well, I used them on defense and war. This could be a good change with Thanos being so much stronger. And, I may end up going to keeping this on offense. We'll see how they do today on defense, the full team. And if they just kind of get crushed with like anything over 83, 64 basically, then I don't think that's going to be worth keeping them in there. And I'll have to try something else. So still going with Infinity Watch in 5 and Out of Time in 6. I'm interested to see if they can stall out or drag out the efficiency like they did yesterday. The Black Order is of interest here. And then, of course, the X-Men teams that I changed up a bit. And so here we see Commander Stubbs' defense. And so here's Commander Stubbs' defense. He has X-Men in rooms 1 and 3 as well. He's going with Pegasus in 2. So this will be interesting to see what can work best here on Pegasus. He's got his Cabal in 4 and Infinity Watch in 5 as well. And then he's got a very strong Secret Defenders with Dorm and Morgan. And so, as you guys saw yesterday, I mean, the counter I used, I think I could play a little bit better and maybe make that work more. But this one here has a much stronger hard light, much, much stronger. And so my first thought is, as I looked over the teams and what I wanted to use, going into 6, I think I'm going to use the Sears counter where he pulled his Lizard and his Vulture. And I pulled my Vulture from that room 4 just in case. And he's running with Cabal. And it just makes sense with how the Lizard is going to negatively affect or impact any Spider-Verse tunes. And then we know Vulture can come in and cause some slows on the enemy here. So we'll see how this works out. I can't remember if he went against a SD. I think it was an SD scroll, but it went pretty well. So I'm looking forward to try that in there. And so when we slide over, I think I'm going to use Unlimited. On Unlimited, I'm going to use Masters of Evil. I've been undecided on this Pegasus because I watch Anna Blade pretty regularly. He went and did a mirror and it worked fine, but mirrors can be RNG, so it's like, wow, he had this great efficiency, and I'm just not sure that it can necessarily play out that way for me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, and I think I saw some guys not do too well with the play testing when they used Hive Mind on the Pegasus in 2, but I can't remember for sure. And so, but I think what I'm going to do is go in with Hive Mind and Scroll, and I'm just going to pull Venom. I think Venom is pretty key in the raids, but to make this counter work, I think I need to make sure I have somebody really super strong to take advantage and get these guys low so my hive mind can take off. And so, since my Superior 6 is going to be different, no lizard, no vulture, it will be interesting to see. I think this will be a good test to try Superior 6 with Mysterio. A few weeks ago, I was able to take Mysterio to G18, and since there's no rogue like they would put in the one or no dorm, I think this will be the time to try them, even though this is a huge X-Men team in here. And so Cabal, once again, Desir had a good counter, but the Void Knight I really want to use on 2, and that was part of his counter. And then so Juicy had a good counter as well. But what I think I want to do here is I'm going to try my Secret Defenders with APOC on this team. We're going to try that out. And then I'm going to use just something I saw Sticky use once or recently, where he went in with Eternals. And I think it was Eternals, Nova, and Quicksilver on the Infinity Watch. So we're going to try that. I think what we'll do here is we'll go into this number 6 first and try this Cabal team, Desir's counter. And where do I have it? And I think this was the placement order that he had. So we'll see. Basically a 500k punch up, but if it goes well, I don't think that will really matter too much. So I wonder if Hard Light, does she start with? No, she doesn't. Let's just go here. Because that Robbie is always, he turns out to be a really big problem for me. So we're gonna do that and slow him down too there. And so now she has her taunt up. They're really hitting them hard though. Oh my goodness, that is pretty amazing. So now we're going to come in with Namor's ult. I think this is going to wrap it up. Yeah, that was pretty hard hitting there. And let's do this. Okay, she's back to her normal self, so we got to try to hit her again. Oh, here comes Vulture. Oh, my goodness. Well, when Desir said he thought this counter worked better than expected, this counter works better than expected. I think you guys got to seriously think about adding this to your roster, as this looks to be the new CC meta team. That was powerful. Okay, so the next one I have a big question mark on will be room 3. So let's go in here, and this is going to be, because I have really no idea what the best placement order would be. And since they hit Doc, that maybe was a good idea. They're really coming out just smashing them. Look at that. Okay, so we are going to go for Forge. That was a good hit. And that Jubes makes him so fast. We need to see if we get this blind out there. Oh, yeah, we're in good shape. Let's hit this. Yeah. Oh, and he's out of there. Yeah, I think we're good to go. So those dupes really help. We'll come in with Slayer. And Slayer wrecks him. And I just shouldn't have been worried. So I am concerned with the Pegasus here, but I'm a little bit more concerned with this out of time. So we're going to go in with this out of time. We're going to go in with our Secret Defenders here. And we're going to put APOC in. And I think we're going to slide him in right here. Okie dokie. So, I mean, I know she rewinds them, but I just can't see it. I don't see where that happens. And which one is better here? So clear immunity, transfer all negative effects, copy clear. Well, let's hit it with this. Let's see what happens. Not what I wanted. Okay, so we'll do that. And what do we have here? Yeah, let's hit Star Brand. Oh, he's out of there. Goodness gracious. So let's hit him with this. And who can we take out? Can we get over here? Nope. Gotta be Cap. Oh, and Cap did not die. Goodness gracious. So that's a problem. Look how they hit me. And then she's gonna revive him. That's crazy. That team is really something. So this is not working. Let's quit out of that because that is not the answer. And yeah, we're gonna have to try that counter to see it worked. So let's jump over because I don't remember what he used. Do I have it in here? He had used, yeah, yeah, he used this team right at the top. So we're gonna try this. And then if it doesn't work, we're gonna just have to go with it because I'll have to do the mirror. So they are really strong in 4, but let's see if Void Knight does a trick. I don't remember how he played this. Let's hit her. She's a problem. And who has charges? We'll get him out of there. Jesus. That guy there, boy. Ghost Rider. Look at that. This counter did not work for me. But we're going to leave it because we just cannot afford to take it back. And then we'll see if we can clean it up with our Secret Defenders. APOC. See if Nova can do anything. No, he did not. That's a problem. Huh. Well, they need to kill her off because then she'll just revive. Okay. Well, at least he got his ult out of there. Yeah, they're a problem. So we're going to go back in with our Secret Defenders. We'll try that again. So Ghost Rider Robbie is a real problem. Or Ghost Rider, whatever his name is. Let's just go with the special. Okay, that'll do it. So push comes to shove. You just got to sack it. And, and then go from there. Okay, let's get that Peggy out of there. Okay, well, I hate that I had to drop an extra attack because I could have just sacked it first. But it's good to know. And I have to watch that video Desir made to see, how he went about that. And I don't know for sure that this team was in room 4, but this out of time is pretty huge. And that Black Knight with the 1 diamond on him, that's just kind of insane there. So we are going to have to try the mirror. And we're going to do a little bit of different placement order because I have been running Kestrel next to Iron Man. But we're going to try this because I'm not sure I saw you running this. Maybe it was Juicy or somebody. We're going to run it a little bit differently. And she did delete him. So the problem is when... oh my goodness. And that was permanent. That was a permanent kill. Well, the problem is that would be the problem. Because she did not delete anybody. She took them low on when Antiblade did this. But let's just go in and see what happens because this is where we are now. And so we'll try to see what we can do to his. Yep, so that went, oh goodness. Yeah, we're in trouble. All right, so let's see what happens here. At least they get to all go. Well, they don't get to all go. We'll try it again. And all right, let's see what happens here. Yeesh. All right, so we need to get that rescue out of there. Okay, that helped. So what can we do? All right, well, that's good to know. Took care of that. So this is doable. We just got to get rid of this Pegasus, this Kestrel. Can we knock her out? Ah, we couldn't get her. Can we get her now? Yep, there we go. So the counter does work. Even if you're, who is it? Your dark, whoever it was, gets killed off. You can still make it work. So let's go in here with Masters of Evil. I'm gonna just use straight Masters of Evil. Oh, do I need to use straight Masters of Evil? I've got um, I've got scrolls sitting around now. Yeah, I think we're gonna just make sure we get them to blow up. We'll use the scroll in here. All right, so let's hit him because he's a dangerous, most dangerous one on here. Okie dokie. All right, so we'll see what happens here. Because I think Scroll and Kang should go before. Hey, here we go. Yeah, before Gambit. Oh, well, they're done. Well, dropping those two attacks probably cost me. But at least we know that a strong out of time in room 4, you just probably got to sack it. I don't know what the counter would be for that yet. I'm pretty sure this would work. But let's just go on with War Dogs. It's a sizable punch down. I don't think they're as strong, Infinity Watch that is, they were last season. So let's just see if War Dogs can work. So we'll hit Moondragon. That usually is a sign to see if they're going to be kind of weak. Okay, so yeah, they're not as strong as they were last season, even in this room. But they're still pretty strong. So let's do this. Yeah, because we just want to hit her no matter what. Can we kill her? Didn't quite get her. There, we got her. Okay. All right, so as long as she's out of there, I'm not too worried now. This is a sizable punch down, of course. But let's see if we can get Gamora out of there. Okay, we can't at the moment. Okay, we did chain to her, so that's a good sign. All right, so we still can't get over there yet. All right. Can we get Phyla out of there? Yep, Phyla's gone. And we got Adam out once. Let's hit her one good time. All right. Oh, she's dead. Okay. So War Dogs on a punch down will work on Infinity Watch in 3 and 5 so far. But there are going to be some really big Infinity Watches coming up, so not quite sure they'll still work. Okay, well, let's see what my score is. It's probably 48, maybe 49, low 49. Yeah, 49, 380. So I don't think I have anything that's going to hold this guy to drop 2 attacks. So it's not looking good for me on this one. So this room actually did very well. Of course, I had Scroll in there. And you got to expect this because the health was low and the turn bonus was low. but it got the clear. It was a one shot. This turned out better than I thought, running Mysterio, so that's a good sign. And this is where I got crushed. So definitely have to figure out something else for a one shot. But right now, I think it's about going in with a sack if you see a really, really strong out of time. So this wasn't too bad, 83.62, and this turned out really good. Okay, so I suppose, out of time, you could use maybe Cabal could beat them if you just really go hard. And then the other option would have been I could have tried my Secret Defenders on his Secret Defenders. But we'll see how it turns out. Okay, guys, so we're back. And to my surprise, I was able to pull this one off. And I think the lesson I learned is that room four will probably just be best served sacking it until we really figure out if it can be one shot. But anyway, let's go in and take a look at what my opponent did. So in room one, I thought this would give a little bit more of a problem than just to be able to go in and get such a huge punch up from New Warriors. So it doesn't seem like Dorm is best served here if he's going to be able to do that. Even though, when I go back to my old goals of an 83.61, that is the goal for the room, 83.61. And that keeps my opponent, if he would have one shot everything, under 51.70. The problem is with that older approach, I would be trying to get a 51.80. And I don't think in this current season I'll be hitting that score. It's a bit high. So I've got to rethink how to. I mean, 83.61 is still, I think, a decent goal to have set for a defensive team. And at the same time, it makes me wonder if I were to use just another X-Men in here, if it would have worked out. But let's go through, and then we can come back and take a look to see how it played out, because I got a feeling the revives really didn't take place like I would have hoped. And so here is where my opponent got held up. Now the question is, as guys are learning the counters very rapidly this week, would it serve me to keep this team on defense another day and hope that it can pull this off again? Or is that pushing it a bit too far? Because even with what he did, he went in, after he was able to weaken him with the second attack, and he did try to use his Masters of Evil, and he has a huge Kang. He just went ahead and he was able to finish off with a Bifrost mirror. So, but I think once he sees what the counter is, he probably was just too busy today and didn't get a chance to see it. It makes me wonder if he would have gone in with something, that was a little more appropriate for it. And here is what I would expect, that guys would go in and use the superior six on this team. And that's perfectly fine. He's got an extremely high score, 83.67. And at the same time, this is the ragtag X-Men team in a sense, because you've got you got Magic in here, and then you've got the Colossus in here. So I don't know that they were really supposed to do much better than this. And so I don't know that I'll change it yet, but I do need to give some thought to running something else in here, because 83.67 is really way too high. So I'm not sure why he would use Cabal here other than just to get an extremely high score, which he achieved that. So maybe he was trying to make up some of the distance from when he dropped those two rooms. There's no telling. But at the end of the day, Black Order is going to be better served for me on offense as a possible Bifrost counter, as a backup. So I'm just going to plan it that way, because this is, I can't afford to have a room get an 83.73 and an 8367 in normal circumstances. And so here, I'm pretty satisfied with this. I mean, this is a counter. I would use something similar. I did take both my Eternals to level 100 to do something like this, and I had my big time, and I was planning to use the Quicksilver, kind of similar like this. And I think I had Nova. But at the end of the day, yeah, I just, because my War Dogs is so much bigger than my opponent's Infinity Watch, I just think that was a little bit safer for me, or just would be fine. I still think Out of Time is doing a decent job. This A354 is still a decent hold, and at the same time, he used Hive Mind and APOC. The question is, will they be better served in Room 4? So let's just go in and take a look at this attack here, just to get a feel for it, and then we can kind of judge to see how it went, because his team took a lot of damage, and so quite naturally, Void Knight goes first, and that kind of disrupts the play for my Black Knight. He comes right in with his APOC, and he knocks my Starbrand right out the game. So it looks like it's going to be an easy one shot, but they're taking damage, I guess, on retaliations from Black Knight, and that's really it. I don't see. I was hoping that my Cosmic Ghost Rider would be able to get in some damage, because he's a powerhouse once he's really built up, and maybe that's just more so in Room 4. So, and what I've noticed even from the battle before is that it came down to my, it was a Captain America and Peggy just lasting, and so even here it's coming down to Black Knight and Captain America just dragging it out, and I think that's perfectly fine. I'm just wondering if it's going to be better served for me to have them in 4 and just go ahead with this standard counter, everybody, or not counter defense. Everybody's going with the Secret Defenders in Room 6. That was my thought, was to use my Secret Defenders on offense against Room 6, but I may have to come up with something else. And so let's just double back and take a look at how this attack went, because I think this is going to be key, how I try to balance this room out. And I haven't used my new Warriors yet for much of anything, so it makes me wonder if this particular defense is not ideal, that guys can still come in and use new Warriors. And I think probably the higher up we go, we're going to see new Warriors being used less. So the revives are coming in, but new Warriors really aren't. I mean, new Warriors, the Extreme X-Men here, or just the X-Men period, because you got X-23 in here, they're not really getting a chance to do much. So this is not, they're just able to take some damage, but this is not going to, I think, work out in the long run, because I need them to be able to deliver some damage. So if they're going to just be sitting targets, then there's no need for Dorm. Even though Dorm, the revives is what drug this out. So just for the sake of seeing how fast this is, let's just take a look at this. I'm sure somehow Scroll just goes, well, yeah, there it is. First turn. He was just so powerful, he just knocked him out of the box first turn. Yeah, that Cabal setup, I guess that was his plan, just to kind of get him out of there really fast. Kind of just scrolling through everything. I don't think there's anything else really to show here of any real interest. So what we'll do is we'll jump over to my defense, and you can see I've already plugged in Pegasus, so I think I want to stick with them. The question is, do I go with this placement order or not? And I've seen this particular placement order a bit more in War, so we're going to go with this. We'll try this here. We're going to slide these guys down to here, and we're going to just go with our Secret Defenders in here. So this will be what I'm going with. I decided to just give a try to the new Avengers with Nick in here, just because he'll hopefully spawn with some taunting tanks, and maybe that can do something. It's just an experiment because it's not. I don't really have anything else to go in there. And I was thinking about Infinity Watch, but I like the idea of Infinity Watch in 5 better. So the placement order I think is pretty ideal for Pegasus with Kestrel in the middle. I see that in war quite often. The question is rescue better in the corner or not? And so I think for right now I'm gonna run in the corner. And we will go with the out of time in 4. It's just that when Ghost Rider Robbie goes, his ult is gonna go first. Ghost Rider Robbie. Cosmic Ghost Rider, his ult is gonna go first. Or early. He's not gonna go first, but when he goes, and then so he's such a hard hitter. And we'll just jump over. I just want to finish with you guys seeing some of his stats, even though he's nowhere near his full potential, what he's able to do. Infinity Watch is still kind of an anchor. Eventually, like I said, it'll go from 98 to 100 and just continue to drag out fights. And I look back at one of my opponents that had, I guess it's just the first trial, that had this placement order, whichever one it was. Maybe it was this one and that one. But it looks like one of the guys went with hard light in the middle. And I can see that making sense because it drug the fight out a bit. And I'm not sure if that's having some kind of effect on Dormammu. But whatever the case is, it worked out pretty well. The only thing I'm considering before the start of the time of the next trial is to take Morgan up a little bit more because she's level 98. And this defense could be in here for a little while, or Morgan might turn into more of a solo tune and I might end up using her more. So I can see doing investment on her just for the sake of this and possibly in war as well. So I'm jumping over here. Like I said, I just want to show you guys really Cosmic Ghost Rider. I think in the last video, I showed you guys part of the passive in the Star brand and why just having him in there makes a difference because he makes the team so much more powerful, and probably room 4 is ideal for them at the moment. When you look at Ghost Rider, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and just on his passive, after an enemy uses an ultimate ability, if this character is not exhausted, bury yourself and all out-of-time allies for 30% of this character's max health. And so they're going to jump off with their ultimates, so this is going to be huge. Gain 30% max health, gain 200% focus. And then he's going to lead with his ult, clear all barrier on primary targets. And you see how that just wiped out my Superior 6, my Secret Defenders, and APOC. Just crushed them. Attack primary target 500% piercing. Damage is increased by 25% per positive effect on the primary target. Apply stun and trauma to the primary target. Clear all battlefield effects. Not that that mattered, but this attack ignores defense up and cannot be blocked. This is going to happen in Cosmic Crucible. And so when we just take a peek, he's still over 100k damage. And what is he? Is he 5 red? He's 5 red. So he's pretty powerful for that room. And then I'll just go back just to show you guys that this is how he's complementing. Starbrand is making the Cosmic Ghost Rider stronger. And so on spawn, apply immunity to self and all out-of-time allies. He's going to give all out-of-time 30% more damage, 30% more drain. And so that's really huge when you start thinking about what's going on then. It's 5% crit chance. And that can happen. And that will make that Cosmic Ghost Rider's hit even more powerful. So we'll finish off, because I'm pretty decided on just going ahead with Morgan. We'll finish off and just take her on up, and we'll end the video there. She is 98. I do have a decent amount of gold. I got a pull for 2 million, so that helped. A little 2 mil, 1 mil. Even when we get them, it's like, hey, great. So I'll just go ahead and invest it. 3 mil, just like that. But it takes her up another 10k in damage. Okay, guys, so I'm going to end it here. You know, I squeezed through with another win. Both were sketchy, and I think it's because my opponents are learning the room rules just like I am. So we both, all three of us, struggled through. And so I'll be in the champions bracket. We'll see what happens there. If I can get a 3-0, that would be pretty cool. All right, guys, chat later.